this is a short video on functions and relations. What I'm hoping we'll learn from this is that you understand what a relation is and be able to give examples, and that you understand what a function is and are able to give examples of that, both in graphic form and in the form of equations. So, relations are any set of ordered pairs of numbers. So, for example, we could have something like 3, 6, 4, 9, and 5, 12. And if we were to graph them, we would see that we've got 3, 6, 4, 9, 5, 12, and they are on this nice line like that. But they're not necessarily going to form a line. We could have sets of numbers that come out in a kind of familiar shape like that, or they could be something all over the place, or they may form something like we've been studying recently, which is a circle. All sorts of different things that those relations could look like. Functions, though, are specific types of relations, and we'll look at what they are now. Okay, so this top row we're going to look at now are all types of functions, though all of the things we're going to look at are in fact relations. So a typical 1, 1 would be a straight line like this. Now you can see that for every x value there is a unique y value. And this is a function. Now we have a many-one relationship here, so a typical example might be, say, a quadratic like that, where we have an x value here, and that produces a y value. But there is another x value here that also produces that y value. So there are many x values producing a single y value. This is many-one and is a function. Another many-one might be, say, a cubic like this, where we have our x value here, and there's another x value there that produces the same y value, and there's another x value there that produces the same y value. So they all produce that same y value there. 3 x's producing 1 y, it's many x's produce 1 y, it's many-one. This is also a function. Now, for this next one here, the many-many, we're going to have a look at a circle. There we go. Okay, now our circle, this here has an x1 value there, which produces a y value, and it also produces another y value over there. So we could start out by thinking of this as many-one. However, it doesn't just produce a single y value, it produces a second y value down here, and a second y value down there, here, y2. So what we in fact have is many. We have many x values producing many y values. For that reason, this is defined as a relation only and not a function. Remember, to be a function, it has to be 1, 1 or many-one. Those are functions. Many is a relation, but it is not a function. Well, we can have 1 many as well. Here's an example. Now this here, we have a single x value producing 2 y values, y2 and y1, and that is 1 x value to many y values, making it 1 many. This is again a relation, as is everything else, but not a function. And you could get other kind of many functions, maybe from some kind of weird squiggle like that. Now there's a simple way to tell whether or not a relation is a function or not. The key is to deciding whether or not there is one or many y values for any given x. Now you can do this through something called the vertical line test. So if I draw a straight line now, which I'll pick up, there we go, cool. There we go, no. There it is. And I have a look at this over here. If I drag it through my, well let's say it's just, I know it's a relation to start off with. If I drag it through here, I can see that there is just a single y value for any given x. So it's just a single y. So it just goes through one point at a time like that. So I can say that that is a function. I can do the same here. If I drag this through, I can say, look, let's just go through one y value at a time. There are not many y values. There we go. I'll drag it back through. You can see it just goes through one point at a time. So I can say with confidence that is a function. Same thing here. If I drag this vertical line through, it just goes through one point at a time, meaning that there is only one y value at a time, not many y. So I can say with confidence that that is a function. And if I drag it over here, you can see what happens as soon as we start driving through a circle, we hit many y. So it's going through two y values all the way through here, all the way through here, all the way through, right until we get to the edge of the circle where there's just one. So because of that, because it fails the vertical line test, we can say with confidence this is not a function and it is a relation. You see the same here? Because it cuts in two places, I can say with confidence this fails the vertical line test, so it is not a function. If I drag my line through the squiggles here, again we can see that at various points there are many y, so not all the time. Here it's okay, but here it's not. So we could, if we restricted the domain, we could make this a function between this point and this point, if we just restricted the domain. But here you can see many y is failing the test. There it's okay. Here it's failing the test again, and there it's okay. So if you restricted the domain, you could say that in parts that was a function, but for the most part, as it stands, that is a relation and not a function because it fails the vertical line test. So what you need to be able to do is to tell from a diagram and or from an equation whether or not it is a function or not. So for example, if I was to give you a diagram like this and ask you whether or not it was a function or not, I would expect you to be able to look at it, maybe tell straight away. If not, apply the vertical line test, drag a line through it, and you'll be able to say, with confidence, yes, look at that, for every 1x there is 1 y, this is 1, 1. It passes the vertical line test, so it is a function. And I would then hope that I would be able to throw something at you like this, that you would recognise as a straight line, and you'd be able to say, yeah, I know that that is a straight line, and straight lines are 1, 1, so this is also a function. But you could rearrange and sketch it, and do the vertical line test just to make sure. Same with many 1, I need to be able to give you some sort of diagram like that, and for you to be able to either look at it and say, okay, I see that's a cubic, it's a many 1 because there are many x values producing one y value. And if you then drag that vertical line through, you'll see that. That it passes the vertical line test. There we go. So you see it passes the vertical line test there. There's only one value, one y value at any given time. So there we can say definitively, yes, that's functional. And I would also hope I'd be able to throw something like this at you. Or something like that even. And you would start to see that, yeah, these are going to be many 1 functions, or many 1 relations, which are functions. So that this is indeed a function. And also, of course, the ones that are simply relations, so all of them are relations, but the ones that are not functions. One example then would be, if I was to show you a picture of a circle, I would hope you'd be able to say, okay, I know, oh, sorry, that's actually a many. So for many, I would be able to show you a picture of a circle, and you would say, yeah, I know that this is many. It is not a function, it is a relation, but not a function. And also, if I was just to throw you something like that, you'd be able to say whether or not it was a function or not just by looking at it, because you would recognise it was a circle. Also, if I had something that was one many, so sorry about this, but something like this, x equals y squared, for example, produces that. X equals y squared produces that. It's closer to it. But again, you see it would fail the vertical line test, and you would know that this is not a function. And failing the vertical line test is a valid reason that you can give. You can say, it's not a function, I know it's not a function, because it fails the vertical line test. Okay, so the very last thing then is, are these relations or functions? So first, if I just give you a diagram, what I'd like to do is just pause the video, see if you can answer it, and then check. So to start off with, is this a relation or a function? Pause and have a think about it. Okay, hopefully you came up with it as a function. And what type is it? Hopefully you came up with 1, 1. Okay. Again, try and answer this, so pause the video and try and answer it without waiting. Is that a relation or a function? And is it 1, 1, 1, many, or many, 1? Okay, so this is 1, many. Meaning it is a relation, not a function, and it fails the vertical line test. There you can see it cutting in 2 places, so it fails the vertical line test. Okay, try this one. So whatever else this looks like, we know that it's positive quadratic. So say it was something like this. You should be able to see that that is going to pass the vertical line test if we drag that line through it. So we know that it is a function, and indeed we can say also that it is many 1. There are many x values that produce a single y value. To confirm that, we can have x1 here, and x2 somewhere over here, and they're producing the same y value there. Okay. Okay, so final thing then, this is what I'd like you to do. Rewatch the video if you're not sure about anything, and what I'd like to do is bring to class an example of a one-to-one function, a many-one function, a many-many relation, a one-many relation. So please don't copy directly the ones we've already done. You can use those examples and change them slightly, and be prepared to discuss what the difference is between these types of relation. Remember, they're all relations, but only some of them are functions. Be prepared to discuss what makes a relation a function, so what makes it a function, and also be prepared to discuss how the vertical line test works and what it tells us. Okay, see you in class.